Let them speak. Test patterns 1 to 15. Please repeat or answer. How is your car different from her car? Doesn't it feel like she isn't going to be going? How much of the ice cream did you end up eating? Where were almost all of the women interested in going to see? Will some of the people prefer to take all of it now? There was no sense talking to her. How many people happened to show up? How many of the students had a hard time understanding most of it? Were any of the guys looking forward to seeing that movie? When did some of the kids get sick at school? Weren't a lot of the men thinking of buying it for their wives? How many of the kids did she used to take care of? Were almost all of the teachers going to be taking a break there? Where did it smell like they were cooking that? When were you as rich as her? Where would you rather go to talk to her? Which one of the girls tended to talk the most? What is the weather like today? What sort of things would you like to teach? Didn't it sound like all of them planned on eating there? What did most of them manage to finish doing? How did you like most of her songs? How many of the songs were worth listening to? How much money has she been making? Didn't almost all of the boys have the opportunity to hear her singing? What kind of cookies do you have difficulty making? Didn't almost all of the boys have the opportunity to hear her singing? What kind of cookies do you have difficulty making? Which thing did she decide to eat on the menu? How many of the people helped you finish doing it all? Were any of the kids ready to start walking? Which one of the students looked like they got sick? Was his apartment the same as yours? How was it similar to your test? There wasn't anything she could do but take him there. How many women wound up showing it to him? How much money are you thinking of bringing? She couldn't help losing a few of the papers. Will a couple of your friends stop you from telling her all of that? Didn't all of them enjoy visiting them? Were any of the teachers supposed to turn in any of their books? Is it all right to sell the oldest bed? Who had her take a few of the cans? What sort of music does she know how to sing the best? Didn't both of them need to bring some of the dessert? Didn't it taste like some of their food was better than her food? Where did they all try to take her? Wasn't it all right to take back any of the food? She may as well not tell any of them. How many people in the car felt sick? There is no point making all of her friends go. Didn't you all see them arguing? What donut has he been ordering the most? Were they all as happy as you were? All he liked to do was sleep there. Which one of the children got you to buy all of that? Did you keep them all from telling her that? Weren't you all glad all of them continued working? Didn't any of them get to see her sing there? What will she be like? There was nothing I could do but try to fix part of it. Didn't any of them hope to begin studying there soon? Which one of her songs would you like to listen to? Didn't all of her sisters used to take a vacation together? Didn't it sound like a few of her friends were disappointed she left? Did any of the people keep on buying more ice cream? What TV show was she in the middle of watching? Didn't he know how to solve any of the most difficult problems? Which example wasn't she able to explain? Wasn't she the least interested in going back to talk to him? Did your wife let you buy some of the books there? Who quit making some of the cookies? Haven't you met any of her friends? Did many of the men have a hard time understanding some of the questions? How did you like her explanation? Did any of them feel like he was trying to trick any of them? Which one of them do you feel like dancing with? Will a couple of them have a difficult time passing any of the tests? Weren't some of the problems impossible to answer? Didn't it sound like that all was the worst problem? Isn't it all right not to show it all to some of them? Did a couple of them have the chance to talk to one of the teachers? Didn't you happen to see many of your friends there? What song would you like to sing to some of your friends? Didn't she end up spending most of her money? Who kept on saving money as much as you? Was there any point talking to them all? Don't they all need to try to get her to call all of them back? Doesn't she feel like forgiving any of them? Was almost all of his explanation too difficult for most of them to accept? How did you like most of her friends? Didn't it look like many of his friends were richer than him? Does it sound like many of his family wound up disagreeing with him? Didn't she almost lose almost all of her money there? Who got him to bring all of those flowers? Will it be similar to many of his shirts? Hasn't he got to work as hard as her? What were most of them doing there? Didn't half of them start crying? Were they all angry she left? Who heard them all talking? Who just ate half of that? What type of movie does she tend to watch most of the time? Were all of his songs similar to her songs? All they all made us all do was study. Were some of the songs worth listening to again? Who felt as happy as most of them? Are almost all of them going to get the most expensive thing on the menu? Didn't most of the food taste like they didn't cook it enough? She had better eat it all. Did they all keep talking about many of her problems? Who helped the slowest students to finish taking the test? They can't help feeling bad about it all. What is the point of telling him all of that? Was that offer as good as that one? Which phone is the best? Don't all of you look forward to eating any of the pie? How much of the pie did you all wind up eating? Will it be the same as this? Weren't all of them going to be buying most of the food? All we all want to do is begin to start our vacation. Were some of them as smart as her? How do you all like his hat? Didn't a couple of the girls go on talking? Did they all get him to admit it? Didn't all of them have trouble taking the test? Did you almost know all of the answers on the test? Didn't all of you get to drink any of the beer? Did she hear all of them talking about her? She might as well leave as early as him. Isn't it worth it to taste all of her food? Aren't any of the men thinking of going back to take a nap? Didn't she sing as long as any of them? How did you all like most of his exclamations? How did you all like most of his explanations? Weren't they all the same as some of the other apples? Who sounded like they could sing the best? Didn't she feel like some of them were complaining more than her brother? Were many of them thinking about selling their most expensive watches? Who finished eating most of the food? All of them kept doing was complain about his friends. Will his answer be different from most of his friends? Did he used to buy clothes as cheap as many of them? Isn't it all right to ask some of them to come back later? Were any of the kids supposed to be buying food for all of us? Will she be angry that you all decided to take some of the candy? Who heard her saying all of those things? Won't all of them probably have him drive some of the way there? Wasn't it similar to that dress? Will her dress be as beautiful as your dress? Didn't all of them feel disappointed? She sounded upset. Is that newspaper as good as all of those papers? Weren't all of them almost the same as this one? What sport does he feel like watching tonight? Which kind of clothes do you see her working in at the office? Who managed to start solving some of the problems? Will all of them be meeting tonight? Didn't you see her do all of the laundry? Won't she let all your brothers and sisters go to play there? There was no use trying to cut all of the trees. Wasn't he really as good as any of them? Do most of the people there know how to use the computer well? Did they all feel like you were cheating? Don't you feel some of the people better stop working now? Who has to return it all? What type of girl do you like to talk with the most? There was nothing he could do but begin driving there. Weren't almost all of them ready to leave? Are all of them used to getting up early on most mornings? When did he almost throw some of it away? Were a few of the girls thinking of quitting smoking? Did they all have the chance to see most of the art there? Were many of the guys making it hard to finish doing it? How did you like most of her songs? Which one of his movies did you enjoy seeing the most? Will almost all of your friends feel that it's worthwhile seeing? There was no point talking to him. Which book did most of them begin to read? Will it be different from that house? Did all of them get to hear her singing it? What food is she used to making for all of them? Wasn't it the same as her ring? Won't it be like his test? Wouldn't you all prefer to take the test later? All of them couldn't help learning English faster with him.